Nigerians have been commenting and have been talking about when this news broke, the federal government has declared a state of emergency. And everyone said this is what we've been expecting for so many years now. Because when we've had the issue of flooding that swept people's farms, that swept people's plots of land, and so on, even people's food storage, and so on, a lot of people were expecting that government will be decisive and very intentional about some of these things. But certainly, you know that as part of President Tinubu's campaign promises, he had said that he was going to set up the commodity board, he was going to set up the exchange board, and so on. So here we are.
Here we are, right. And if you look at the components of the presidential announcements, there is a lot to be excited about, even though Nigerians will obviously be watching closely to see how all of these will be addressed. But I love the fact that the presidency spoke to some of the concerns that have always been clogging previous policies around food security, talking about the issue of transportation. The government says it will now begin to explore alternative means of transportation where these commodities will come in across the country because, of course, these have always affected food prices. So there are rail options, there's even water transportation options. Yeah. And then the issue of middlemen too is also something that sounds exciting to the ears. CBN had already said those middlemen now should make sure that all the grains and fertilizers, because among the announcement the president made was that there'll be free grains and free fertilizers to households at no cost. But then how will it transcend, down to the last household in need? So the issue of middlemen too, these are exciting promises, and I would really want to follow this through to see how indeed people benefit from this scheme.
It's going to be amazing because we also understand that the government is setting aside about 500,000 hectares of land, for farming. And, this, and then also plus issues of irrigation, storage, and even the issue of transport you talked about. Now, if you look at some states that are agrarian generally, you'll see that some of their inner roads into the farms or into areas where the farm settlements are really bad. So this state of emergency is going to be wholesome in such a way that areas where rail services will be expedited, the construction of rail services into all of those places will be enhanced on one hand, road constructions will be enhanced into other areas, and then the water transport that you mentioned earlier. Now, having all of those on one hand, then the issue of the commodity and exchange board, recall that in the 70s, I think in the 60s and 70s, during the times we had the granite pyramids, and all of that, there were the commodity boards. And the commodity boards were responsible for cotton trade, cocoa trade, the palm kernel trade, and the palm oil trade, the granite trade, and so on, and even other cereal and guinea corn and millet and so on. It was fantastic. And those were the days that Nigeria was known for what it was known for in agriculture. In fact, that was why we had our national flag, green, white, green, with green standing for agriculture. Exactly.
Value in agriculture.
Exactly.
Right.
So bringing that back now is what will take Nigeria to that level where we can adequately and conveniently feed ourselves and then feed West Africa and possibly even feed the African continent.
And another potential from this, drive of the president is the impact it will definitely have on job creation. Because already statistics are saying it's the industry alone amasses for about 35% of jobs. And now the president is hoping to double this to 70%. This is also, very obvious and something that the government can look into in terms of, low-hanging fruits that everyone can benefit from.
All right. We certainly will wait to see the breakdown and the commencement of all of those and how Nigerians are going to benefit.